Hello, everyone. Welcome to First Rule of Book Club. And the first rule of Book Club is you better talk about book club. The first rule of Book Club is the Perry County Public Library's Teen Book Club for ages 13 and up. And I am Jessica Chandler, the Children's Youth Services librarian. Today we're going to talk about Sarah J. Maas's Crown of Midnight, a Throne of Glass novel. This is the second book of the series. The first book we gave out last month. We still have some copies. So if you come through the drive-thru at the Perry County Public Library at 289 Black Gold Boulevard, Hazard, Kentucky, you can come through and pick up your copy, the first and second volume, to keep from the Throne of Glass series. An assassin's loyalties are always in doubt, but her heart never wavers. Now, please remember that some of the names are made up, so you may pronounce them differently than how I'll pronounce them. But assassin Selena Sardothian won a brutal contest to become the king's champion, but she is so far from loyal to the crown. Though she hides her secret vigilantly, her deadly charade becomes difficult when she realizes she is not the only one seeking justice. No one is above questioning her allegiance, not the Crown Prince Dorian, not Cole, the captain of the guard, not even her best friend, Nehemiah, a foreign princess with a rebel heart. Then one terrible night, the secrets they have all been keeping lead to an unspeakable tragedy. As Selena's world shatters, she'll be forced to decide once and for all where her true loyalties lie and whom she is willing to fight for. According to USA Today, a thrill ride of epic fantasy proportions. And we're going to read a couple of pages from the first chapter. Oh, see, I like it when the books do this. They've got a map of the kingdom. They've got a map of the world. Helps to get a better visualization of what's going on. Part 1, The King's Champion. Chapter 1. The shutters swinging in the storm winds were the only sign of her entry. No one had noticed her scaling the garden wall of the darkened manor house, and with the thunder and the gusting winds off the nearby sea, no one heard her as she shimmied up the drain pipe, swung onto the windowsill, and slithered into the second-floor hallway. The king's champion pressed herself into an alcove at the thud of an approaching steps. Concealed beneath a black mask and hood, she willed herself to melt into the shadows, to become nothing more than a slip of darkness. A servant girl trudged past to the open window, grumbling as she latched it shut. Seconds later, she disappeared down the stairwell at the other end of the hall. The girl hadn't noticed the wet footprints on the floorboard. Lightning flashed, illuminating the hallway. The assassin took a long breath, going over the plans she'd painstakingly memorized in the 3 days she'd been watching the manor house on the outskirts of Bellhaven. 5 doors on each side. Lord Nereal's bedroom was the third on the left. She listened to the approach of any other servants, but the house remained hushed as the storm raged around them. Silent and smooth as a wraith, she moved down the hall. Lord Nereal's bedroom swung open with a slight groan. She waited until the next rumble of thunder before easing the door shut behind her. Another flash of lightning illuminated 2 figures sleeping in the 4-poster bed. Lord Nereel was no older than 35, and his wife, dark-haired beauty, slept soundly in his arms. What had they done to offend the king so gravely that he wanted them dead? She crept to the edge of the bed. It wasn't her place to ask. Her job was to obey. Her freedom depended on it. With each step toward Lord Nereel, she ran through the plan again. Her sword slid out of the sheath with barely a whine. She took a shuddering breath, embracing herself for what would come next. Lord Nereel's eyes flew open just as the king's champion raised her sword over his head. And that was Chapter 1 of Crown of Midnight, Throne of Glass novel. And this is by Sarah J. Maas, Sarahjmaas. And this is a New York Times best-selling series. So come by the Perry County Public Library at 289 Black Gold Boulevard to pick up your copy of Crown of Midnight, along with last month's book club. They are yours to keep, but they are limited numbers of these books. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this series.